Welcome to Ready Set RC, and today we got a little something different. Really, a little something different. We have the 1/24th scale Carisma RC, and this is Hyundai Mobis inspired, so it's part of the rally edition of Hyundai. And this thing looks like it's gonna be a fun one to drive, guys. I'm gonna go over the specs really quick, then we're gonna do a nice little run, and then we'll wrap up the video. So first I want to say it comes with an 8,000 kV brushless motor. This is a brushless 1/24th scale RC. The one concern I have, it comes with a 7.2 nickel metal hydride battery. I wish that was LiPo. We'll have to see if it's LiPo compatible. That's what they're saying this thing has, a 7.2 nickel metal hydride battery. Comes with a 2.4 gigahertz controller, and it has a slipper clutch assembly. You guys can see it with my hand how small this thing actually is. You get the 4 AA's for the controller. This is the 7.2 nickel metal hydride battery for the car. As I said, I wish this was LiPo. We'll see what we have. Possibly this thing is able to hold a LiPo battery. You could get a LiPo battery in there, but I want to see if it can actually handle it. I'm not sure if it has a LiPo cutoff. Maybe if we do, we got to be a little bit more sensitive, but we'll see what's capable on this car. They give you 2 spare pinions and 1 spare spur gear. We get a really basic owner's manual. It comes in multiple different languages, but there's not much. So it just talks about the controller for a little bit on the setup of the car and how to set up the controller with it, battery charging capabilities, tuning out your steering and ESC, and then that's it, guys. The rest of it is in other languages, so it's not really much for us on this. And then we have the controller, and it is a very toy-like controller. Feels very toy-like. We'll see how this operates, but yeah, I'm not impressed. It's a very basic controller, but you have all your trims on here. It has your steering trim, your throttle trim, your on-off switch, reverse switches. Yeah, but it's just very basic. Feels very toy-like in the hand. You're gonna get your 4 AA's down there below. But let's talk about the car, guys. We have a nice Lexan body, but I have to say, guys, this thing is just covered with stickers. When you pick it up, you feel the weight of the stickers on here, so it does have a good thickness on it with the stickers and everything, but it is just stickers all across the body, and they're put on here very nicely. They're not peeling back or anything like that. When I took the car out of the box, this diffuser definitely fell off. It has some double stick tape that's on here, so it's able to fix back on very easily. All of your molded bits that are on here, they're screwed in. So your rearview mirrors are screwed in, your diffuser up at the top, your vents on the hood, those are all screwed in, and you can see it underneath, guys. But here we are with the 1/24th Carisma in our hands, and wow, it is extremely small, guys. The tires, no foams. There is grip, but there's no foams. Looks like, and hopefully you guys are picking up on the camera. Hopefully the camera is picking that up. Looks like there's a little bit of toe in on the rear. Zeroed out on the front. Not much movement on the suspension, but these are friction shocks. We have composite suspension arms on the front and on the rear. Phillips screws throughout the car. We have a nice cover that's covering the ESC and the motor. Everything I'm seeing here, it's all composite. The body mounting system that's on this car is all composite as well. You have 4 body pins to lock the body down on this. Yeah, we have a slipper clutch system that's in this car. We'll have to see how it does, guys. I'm seeing other mounts. I'm imagining they must have some type of buggy or truggy setup, because I'm seeing another mounting system down here in the rear. The battery goes right there below. We'll see how this goes on the first run, but this is my first Carisma. I've been looking at this 1/24th scale for quite some time. Been willing to get this into the arsenal, and here we go. So let's get this car out and let's see what it can do. So guys, what do I think of the Carisma G24 1/24 scale Hyundai i20 Coupe WRC inspired RC? First, I have to say, for the controller, as I was mentioning before, it's very basic, but it does the job. And I did not have a problem with it. I will say, for the throttle limiter that's over here, for the first position, I noticed a difference. Second, definitely noticed a difference. But when I hit the third, it felt no different between 2 and 3. So maybe it's me, but I just noticed that there wasn't a difference between the second and the third positions on the throttle limiter. The steering is a little dicey. This servo is extremely fast. Let me get that through first. But what I noticed that when you're trying to adjust the trim on this, it's either going to be heavily left, heavily right, or smack in the center. So the littlest amount that you move it is going to drastically change it on the car. So if you can find dead center, leave it there and you're good. This wheel, as I said before, extremely cheap, but it does the job. And the same thing with the throttle, it does the job. Now the car itself and I guess the commands that you give it, steering, no issue, but throttle, it is delayed. I noticed that there is a significant amount of delay. Now, it doesn't happen every time. It's more of an intermittent kind of thing, but the throttle was delayed between the two. Moving on to the car, the nickel metal hydride battery running on this, I thought it was pretty quick, which was surprising. I expected this thing to be so slow with the nickel metal, even though it's a brushless system. If you guys do remember the Losi SCT 1/24 scale RCs, if you own the brushless version and you drove it on nickel, you notice the speed difference. And then when you hit it on LiPo, it was drastically different. I find this one to be a little bit different. I'm gonna have to see if I can get it on LiPo. The only thing, as I said, I could not find any documentation telling me that it has a LiPo cutoff. So I may have to try to run this on a lithium ion just to play safe and see how it operates on it. But I thought it did well with the nickel. The only thing with nickel batteries, you guys know, starts to fall off drastically fast, and you see the difference of when it drops off. And that was the only disappointing part about the battery itself. These tires that are on here, there are no foams in them, as I mentioned before, but they hooked up well on the tennis court, guys. This car can definitely do indoor and outdoor. And when you're doing outdoor, as long as you got a smooth surface, this can perform pretty well, guys. I thought this handled pretty well on there. It was able to sustain that, I guess it's more of mats on that tennis court, and it was able to sustain itself out there. It drove pretty well. The friction shocks held up. The body held up. We had a little bit of a roll happening, and that was mainly me more than the car. But I thought it was a very fun RC, and this currently is now going for $149.99. And I purchased this from RPP Hobby, and I'll put that in the description below. But I think this is a very fun car, especially during these times when the weather is not so great outside and you want something to putt around. Not a bad option for us. Definitely not a bad option for us. But I'm going to leave it here. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram for our latest posts to the channel. This is Ready Set RC, signing out. Thanks again, guys.